Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Hunter x Hunter on episode 124, and in the last episode, it ended with a big sort of reveal of Palm, who still looks beautiful as ever, but she's different, and I'm not sure how much of the same she is. If she's totally different and there's nothing of her original self in there, that is something that I imagine will be revealed, either this episode or, obviously in the coming episodes, when a Calgo eventually gets there. And who knows, maybe Knuckle join in the fight, because really right now he's not needed to be used anywhere else, with Yuppie and Shire already away to do, see the king and whatnot, and the Netero fight and all of that good stuff. Gun has Neferpito there, that's it, we know what's happening with that. Knuckle isn't really needed anywhere, so I feel like that's gonna naturally just be a thing with Palm. And we'll see what happens with that. And then we also had the Akalgo and Welfin sort of encounter, which was quite nice. Nice little episode between those two as characters as well. And whether or not Akalgo is actually Gyro, I still don't know. I feel like it was implied, but if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, But I guess we'll just wait and see about that. But yeah, other than that, there's nothing else to really talk about. So we're just going to get straight into episode 124 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 124. Fucking hell. Wow. I mean, I was not expecting that like, it would have been... Like, I didn't think that it would have been so... Well, to say it's so easy is kind of wrong, because I feel like the only reason why it was able to get to her was because of Killua's state there. Like, that's something that is not, like, that's not Killua. Like, we've never seen him fucking, like, we've seen him sort of tear up, but that was like just a full-on breakdown, And it signifies how much he really cares about Gon, because, like, he wants to be there for his friend, and he wants to be able to like, feel like he's actually worth something to Gon. And because, in that one moment where Gon just snapped, that's the thing. But, like, yeah, so to say that it was that easy, I don't think is the correct terminology. I didn't think, I guess, this soon, I suppose. Because going into it, and even, like, still 3/4 of the way through the episode, I was like, I'm fucking confused. Is Palm in there or not? Because everything that was coming up, everything that she was saying, like, when she came out, she was Killua, yeah? And so she recognised Killua in some form or fashion at that point. And then she's like, where's Gon? So I was thinking at that point, there was, like, it was a residual thing that was left, from when she was, Palm beforehand to now, and she just remembers it, but she doesn't know, like, the connotations of why. So when, like, obviously later on they do end up explaining it, that the idea of, like, shattering the emotions, like, and sort of severing them away from the memories, because if they're able to keep their memories, then that has some connotation into sort of, like, they come out of their cocoons earlier and whatnot, and that like evolves into them sort of, I guess, becoming, like, more, like, it just, I guess, stronger as well. And I was just thinking, like, when they were doing that with, like, because they're doing it with, like, Dr. Blythe, and I'm just thinking, like, well, how, like, I know that Dr. Blythe is, like, sort of, like, it's a Nen thing, but the operations they're doing is physical, right? And there's no, like, I'm trying to think, because I have seen them, like, explain, like, something within the brain where, like, the emotional part of it, there's something about, like, obviously the difference in where, like, things are in their brain or whatever. But I think it's interesting that when you consider the idea that, well, memories are kind of tied to emotions, I don't know if in real life there is a different part of the brain that you can remove that removes the emotional sort of filter you have with it. But memories are sort of tied to those, and like throughout the episode, where I'm thinking, is she even in there or is she not? And it's just a residual memory thing. But then I was thinking, like, well, surely if you are anything, really are, you are a built up sort of, you are that thing that's built up of emotions and memories and experiences and everything. So, if you remove them that are tied to it, I suppose it makes sense that she would be there. It's just not, she's just not seeing things the way that, she should, because, they've been tampered with. And also how they've been tampered with. Because if it's something that Killua got through to her, and that, by the way, I was going to say it during the reaction, but I didn't I didn't want to ruin the moment, but the idea that, Killua has now removed something from his brain that was obviously implanted in him and removed something from somebody else's brain, which I really like. I mean, I think this is just why Killua is my favourite character, because I feel like he, coming into the show, him being the one that is like the best of everything, like it's like for so long in the show, it was like if Killua's involved, like shit's going down, and I expect him to come out on top. Of course, there were times when it was, but that was the thing. Is Killua was cautious to obviously a sort of damaging degree, because obviously he'd been fucking implanted with a pin and basically manipulated to be that way inclined. But the thing is that him as a character, it's the evolution of the character that I think sort of just draws me to him, And I think I've said this before, and whether it was on Hunter x Hunter or not, like Gon is, and this happens a lot with like the main protagonist of a show, is that you can struggle to have them quite sort of one note, and in some like cases Gon is, because he just has like, it seems like he just has one gear, which is go, like all of the time, and but like with Killua, I just think because of the, it's a weird sort of cross thing that Gon and Killua have done, where now it's more in Killua's court to be the one to, to really think about things thoroughly and not just, go in willy-nilly and take something out to deal with a problem. And Killua used to, like, at one point Killua was just like, he didn't understand why Gon would think in certain ways and whatever. Now he's at that point where he should like fully understand. Maybe not fully understand, but he's really fucking, he's definitely on that sort of precipice now where Gon was. That it's such a nice sort of arc for Killua, I think. And yeah, I think it was good for Killua to get this out, but it's fixed Palm, which is great, because I mean, I was ready to completely write off Palm now, like as like in any way of like getting her back. Like it was good. I thought it was just going to be one of those tragic things where she just ends up, that they're going to end up having to kill her because she's just not the Palm of before. But that is not how it went, and yet again, that's Hunter x Hunter being unpredictable again, which I really like. So yeah, that's good. I'm loving it. I mean, now she's kind of, she's permanently changed appearance-wise. I don't know if like, because it says that her emotional state changes with her appearance. So now she is everything she was before, but now she's got like these extended sort of abilities that she didn't have before. Like, can she always use that like armor hair thing now? By the way, that looked fucking awesome. Like when she had like the massive like hat and stuff out of her hair, she looked pretty cool there. I don't know about this ball thing. I feel like because they've been like sort of, operating on her, that this is like a permanent fixture now. Like it's almost like a part of her brain now. So if you were to remove it, it would probably kill her. But I'm glad that we got back like a look at the flashback as to what happened with Palm, because yeah, it just obviously cut off before we saw anything. Like we literally saw Neferpito's sort of end come up on her, and like she was like visibly shaking a bit. But I like that sort of wherewithal to to think that, you know, if she was to you know, kill herself, right, so that, you know, it would end up working in her favor. It seemed like she used it. She used a Nen, right, to shield herself from Pito's N, which meant that she was it meant that she was no longer using Zetsu or anything like that, right? It means that she was they could tell where she was, so they basically just walked up on her and took her. Fucking hell. So yeah, she was just stabbed herself, and that's obviously what the blood patch was. But before she died, she was taken and just being operated on to keep in that sort of state of mind. And yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's what they were like saying. Like beforehand, when the Chimera ants were, you know, made the I guess the more natural way for them, the emotional state and memories were a bit more, you know, few and far between Chimera ants, and that probably had something to do with the fact that they died beforehand. But if she's alive while the whole thing's going on, then the access to the memories and everything like that just still remains there. But it's just they just fucked with it to see how much it would really work. And in the end, it didn't work, which is great for us, fantastic, love it. I just want to know, like, what did they do to separate that? I mean, Palm did say that it was more like there was a wall inside of her brain. So I guess they didn't really take anything out or like reattach things to other stuff, you know. I feel like they must have just done something that was similar to Illumi putting the pin in Killua's head, because that was just like a thing that sort of limited Killua to certain ways of thinking and things like that, which I think possibly was the same. It was something similar to that they must have done. But yeah, that's I'm really happy it ended that way. It's a nice little way to end it. Also with Palm as well, saying like, you know, that, you know, Palm isn't the one, you know, to go stop him and sort of like bring him back or anything like that, but you know, it was Killua that Gohan needs and not her, which I really like. I mean, I feel like there was that with Nove back when we saw her beforehand, because Nove came up right when fucking Palm was going mental and she was like going to kill fucking Killua and stuff and chase him with a knife and things like that. That Nove came out of nowhere, whatever, and basically said like, you know, like it was something where Palm was like, you know, you're the only one for me, right? And she said that in Nove. So, well, here's the thing. I don't know if Nove is ever really gonna get back. It would be nice to see, like, I would like it if Palm got out now. I don't want her to stick around. I just want her to kind of get out now. I suppose there's no real reason for it to, like, again, like, this thing of, like, I don't know why Knuckles staying around, because at this point, I don't know really what his job is anymore, you know? With Shia and Yuppie gone, the only enemy in there right now that you would class as an enemy would be Neferpito, and, I mean, that's a Gon and Killua thing now, so, I mean, I would like it if Knuckle came across Palm and then they got out together. Nove might be back in there after taking out Morel, so taking Morel out of the palace. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be as easy as like Nove getting over this whole experience and whatnot. But maybe with Palm, because a lot of his, yeah, like he sort of broke down and everything because of the, like, you know, that evil fucking aura that he was, you know, almost fucking exposed to. I mean, he was kind of exposed, but not entirely, but it did affect him. But on top of that was the idea that Palm was going in there herself, you know, like, and I think that had like a lot to also do with the fact that he sort of broke down. So maybe by Palm coming back, and even though she looks different, and it might be, I don't know, it might be a case of no, like, being unable to kind of, you know, deal with Palm in any regard. I hope that's not the way it goes, but I'm just trying to get into the mind of what he'd be thinking. Like, she's now like, she looks like a chimera on the surface, so every time he's going to be thinking about that, he's going to be thinking about this fucking thing. But I don't know, we'll see. I mean, if I feel like if it was going like the more realistic sort of route, that's probably what I would do, but I don't know. I feel like it'll just be an in-between, and like, you'll be fine with, say, like, you know, with Palm being there, but I don't think you'll ever really get over this you know, this event. So I don't know, we'll just wait and see on that. Yeah, at the end there, Shia as well, basically saying that he, you know, because that whole thing didn't work, they tried it with, you know, the use of Dr. Blythe and everything. But at this point, Shia's like, well, I guess I don't need Neferpitou anymore, and he's going to go build off a new kingdom with the king himself, which I don't know. I don't see how that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I'm just trying to picture like what is really going to happen when Yuppie and Shia turn up to this fight that's happening between Meruem and Netero, and like, if at any point, you know, like, Shia thinks that the king is in a bit of trouble, he might just fucking fly in and just get one shotted and die, you know. But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what Yuppie does as well, considering his newfound sort of, you know, way of looking at things. But yeah, so I don't know. I guess what happens to those people then that are all under the influence of Shia's magic still? Well, hypnosis thing. Like, do they ever come out of that after a certain time? I hope so. You know, because he's just fucked off somewhere. It might be a case of like it doesn't happen until he dies. Maybe, you know. It might be one of those things where, like, you know, like, he's in a bunch of different clones and there's one real one the size of a bee, and he gets slapped and he dies, and then all of them wake up at once and they're like, where the fuck are we? What are we doing here? In the middle of the desert? What are we doing? Oh my god, the palace is fucked. You know, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, that's great. Also, Killua charging up. I like the fact that he literally charges up that, like, in his body from power outlets and things like that. So yeah, like, hopefully he's not like an iPhone or something and his battery runs dead like really quick. I mean, I suppose it kind of did when he was in that fucking, what was it? Like, it was like God mode or something. It was something like that, wasn't it? What episode was that? Godspeed, that was it. But then again, he's using that like fucking full force, you know. It's not like just sitting idle. So yeah, but yeah, that's all I've got. Again, like, seeing Killua fucking break down, that was tough. I don't want to see that again. I think he's got it out of his system now, and with Palm giving him the sort of go ahead that no, it's going that needs you, not me. That, you know, he'll be able to go in and you know, and sort himself out, and hopefully sort going out as well, you know. And this time, because I think it was a case of like Killua unsure of what he could really do. He had that, like, the big spat between him where Gon said that, you know, you don't care, whatever, or something like that, and Killua just left. You know, like, it was just kind of like one of those things, like, you know, they're kids, and he's just like, oh, you know, like, kind of whatever, feeling like shit after it. Whereas now I just don't. Yeah, it's not a case of him just giving up, you know. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord. So if you want to get over there, you can. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you don't support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how many you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early, and you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. That's 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. So by the time this episode comes out for the general public, you'll have access to the rest of the show and reactions if you're an early access tier patron. So if you can binge watch right now until the end of the series, it'll only cost you like $5 for the whole month, if you can get it done within a month, of course. There's also $10 there for full length. That doesn't matter for this show, but for other shows you will need that if you want to see the reaction uncut and everything. And then there are other tiers where you can pay to have a certain show reacted to as well. So if you want me to react to a show, it'd be very much appreciated. I'm trying to get doing this full time again, like I was back in 2018, so I can get more content out for you guys more frequently and everything like that. So if you do want to go support me, that'd be very much appreciated. But that is all I got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.